Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Morning Drive on YouTube. Glad to have you with us. How about we talk about Rory McIlroy? He has had an impressive 2019, winning the Players' Championship, torching the field at the RBC Canadian Open, out-dueling Brooks Koepka down the stretch to win the Tour Championship and the FedEx Cup, and then defeating Xander Schauffele in a playoff a few weeks ago at the WGC HSBC Champions. So this week, he's in Dubai for the DP World Tour Championship, where he discussed his goals of getting back to #1 in the world.
I think I've earned like 480 world ranking points this year, which is a lot. I'm not really going to have to defend that many going into the next year. I had a bit of a quiet start in 2018, so it's just keep going, try and keep the foot down. This is the last event I'll play for a couple of months before taking a little bit of a break. But every week that I've played the last couple of months, it's all about just trying to get a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And obviously the win in China helped quite a bit. I know that I can't quite get to #1 by the end of this year, but if I play well this week, it makes my job just that little bit easier going into 2020. So it's a huge goal of mine. It feels like a long time ago, and in 2015 when I was on the top of that list, and it'd be great to get back there.
Bringing in the rest of our team in studio, AP. We're looking at those official world golf rankings. So Robert Dameron, Rory making it clear that #1 is his mission. He currently sits at #2, just behind Brooks Koepka. So over/under, Rory finishes 2020 ranked #2 in the official world golf ranking. What do you think?
Boy, I got to stick my neck out first here on this one and say that Rory is going to finish over. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say he finishes the season over. He may get up to #1 at some point in this next season, but it's so much to ask with Brooks still in his prime.
Who's going to pass him?
Great, Justin Thomas is going to pass him. I was getting there. I think this is going to be a huge year for Justin Thomas. 3 wins, maybe another major. The way he finished last season, already started off with a win in this fall. So yes, it's just such a tall order. Can he? Of course. Should he? Yes. But if you're playing the odds, to only have 2 people in front of you in the world is still pretty darn strong.
I actually think Justin Thomas is going to have a great year as well, so now I'm kind of rethinking it. I am going to say under. I do think he'll be the #1 player in the world next year. And I think it's more looking at Brooks Koepka, because he is due for regression. You look at what he's done in his last 7 major championships. He's finished in the top 4 in 6 of them. Historically, it's hard to maintain that level of play. Maybe Brooks is a different animal. Maybe he just shows up in the biggest events. We'll see in 2020, but statistically, he is due for some regression. If he's not collecting a boatload of points in the major championships, he's due to slip a little bit. I think Rory's figured out his formula for success in 2020. I think he'll be the #1 player in the world. He plays a lot in the fall as well.
Rory will be #1 at some point in 2020. I don't think he'll end up there, but here's the key. I don't know who's going to be #1. Is it going to be DJ? Is it going to be Justin Thomas? Is it going to be Brooks Koepka? I'm not sure, but I'm going with a push on this one.
Finish right at #2.
So why do you not think? Because I'm all in on this. I'm all in on Rory McIlroy next season. I think he's going to finish under. I think he's going to finish as world #1 because, like you say, he's found the formula. He's in a great position this week to win his 5th win of the season. He won the FedEx Cup. He's winning these big tournaments, and I think he's in a great spot in his career. But I'm interested to know why you don't think he will finish there.
Because of his majors record this year. He's going to have to change that. And if he does, I'm wrong, and I'll be the first one to admit it. But his majors record in the last 10, 12 majors has not been Rory McIlroy-esque.
Could this be the season you would feel like Rory's got everything going for him at the moment for this to be the season where he really kicks on in those majors?
It kind of has to be, doesn't it?
Because it feels like a make or break.
Right, it does. In the majors alone. Like I said, I don't think that last year you can hold it against him that he didn't play well in the majors because it was a comeback, and a re-emerging year as the guy that could be the best player in the world potentially, except for the majors. Now, if he doesn't do it next year, that is going to be a problem. And I don't see Brooks, if he's healthy, going anywhere. I think he just taps into something in the majors that's different. It's kind of along the lines of Tiger and Nicklaus in these tournaments alone. Tiger and Nicklaus won plenty of other ones too, but in these tournaments, he just feels like he's better, and somehow it gets something out of him.
Yeah.
But someone behind Rory is going to have an absolute monster year. Those two have separated themselves so far. If Rory can win this week in Dubai, he's going to be right there with Brooks Koepka at the top of the world. And one of those guys is going to have to win 5-6 times to make up for it.
Yeah, it's a big ask, and it's been such a consistent year for Rory. In 24 worldwide starts this year, Rory finished with 18 top 10s, including 4 wins. So, Carl, over under 3.5 wins for Rory in 2020.
Well, with such a great year that he had this year, he's sitting at 4 wins. So is he going to repeat what he did this year next year? Maybe. But I'm going to go under here. I think he's going to win exactly 3 times. But the key is one of those 3 wins is going to be a major championship.
Yeah, that's it. It's not only the number of wins, but it's what those wins are, Lav. What are you saying?
This is really tough. He's got 4 wins this year. It's worldwide.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 4. Yeah, I think when you look at historically, the best 5-year stretch that he's had in his career from 2012 to 2016, he won more than 3 times. I think he's a better player now all around than he even was when he was winning major championships. I think when you look at his wedge play and his putting, certainly, I think he's a more complete player. I'll go with 4 wins.
I'm going to go under. I'm with you. I think 3 is a lot. 4 is phenomenal, but you just look at next year's strength of field is going to be better than last year's. The players keep getting better. There's more players capable of being number 1 in the world. So it's just more people to beat. Not that he cannot do it, but I do know one thing. If we offered him only 1 win, he would take it if it was the Masters.
I was just about to ask you that
He would
question.
take that over 5 wins and not the Masters.
Well, what about any major?
I think he would take any major at this point.
Sure, but I just think historical.
Yes.
The Masters makes him the Grand Slam
Masters,
career
yes.
champion and the greatest European golfer that ever lived.
If you can see a major championship coming to Rory next season, where do you see it happening?
He's had success at Harding Park, which is where the PGA is headed in May. I think you can see it there. I mean, he's always going to be tailor fit for Augusta National. He just needs to get out of his own head there.
I don't think there's a venue that doesn't. I mean, he's going to have some really good opportunities next year.
Okay, do you think Augusta? It's still a huge sticking point. Let's be honest. Mentally, it's got under his skin. We know that.
But he plays well there, and he's got such an edge with the driver over anyone else, and that's so important at Augusta. If he can control those short irons, you have to hit little plateaus on those greens, as we all know, and if he can control the short irons, he should be right there. So, wing foot's going to be interesting. That is completely at the mercy of off the tee, or that course is. So, again, if he can bring driver and drive it well, he can contend anywhere.
Sure.
Rory's strategy, he said, going into next year was to not stop treating the majors like they're every other week, because they're not, are they? They are different.
Exactly, and that's when you look at the reason why he hasn't won a major now in 5+ years. It's his slow starts, and he's having a slow start because he's in his own head. He's putting too much pressure on himself when the opening bell goes off, and then he struggles, and then he might backdoor a top 10, but he's getting off to a sluggish start. You look at what he's done at Augusta National. Only 11 of his 42 rounds there have been 69 or better. If he can just throw up a 67, a 68 in the opening round there just to get started, I think he could potentially cruise from there. It's just getting started that's been the hardest part for him.
Yeah, all the pieces are in place for what could be a phenomenal year next year for Rory McIlroy. LT?
Yeah, and it could include that green jacket and a career Grand Slam. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed today's conversations. Leave your comments in the comments section. Be a part of it all. Subscribe to Golf Channel's YouTube page for more, and tune into Golf Channel and Morning Drive every day for the latest news around the game. We'll see you next time.